Well, as you can see, we're looking at a couple of great dishes here. We're talking about Worcester's Best Chef competition. Why don't I start to my right, which is you, Bill, from Series Bistro. Tell us a little bit about this, and it's not just the food itself. I mean, it really is the presentation or the plating.
Sure,
of the food.
sure, absolutely. You eat with your eyes first. It has to look appealing, so we do our best to make things look that way and try to approach it in an artistic way when we're plating our food. What we have before us here is a potato and chorizo latke with a pan-seared scallop, house pickled onion, and a little parsley pesto, which is like a French version of a pesto minus the pine nuts and Parmesan cheese.
Wow, fantastic.
Nice.
Wilson, to describe what you brought here.
So, and we brought a couple sashimis, and in that case, just a very simple materials. It's a salmon and a tuna only with a little bit of fruit. So when you eat that, so you just use use the chopsticks or knife, just cut it. When the sauce pump out, so come down, so cover the fish, just go with that. So nothing a soy sauce, but just try the nature of the food. And in that case, my point is, so the fish plus the fruit juice and all the nature or whatever. So just try the nature of the food. That's what my point is, just like that. It's less cooking, that's why. So I need 5 minutes less than Bill when we competition.
always thinking.
That's
and again, the presentation is, as Bill said, you eat first with your eyes. So the presentation is so important. So just bringing these dishes out to the table, people go, oh, right. And I mean, and they really love seeing them. Yeah. Dominic, I mean, this is just a small sample, of course, of what people are going to be able to see at Worcester's Best Chef competition.
It's amazing, Hank. It's unbelievable. We try to set the tone, much like Bill indicated. You try to set the tone visually, aesthetically with the plate. And it does look like a piece of artwork. We try to set the tone also. Mechanics Hall is an elegant venue. It's acoustically the most sound venue in the nation, we still know. And when you get out, you've got valet, and then you walk into the building, and you've got what we call a paparazzi photo mob, which is a great bunch of photographers that take everybody's picture in front of a big background. You come up the stairs, you're escorted up by our staff at the bottom of the stairs, our lieutenants, we like to say. Get you to a reception. There's a bank of 10 people that take care of you right then and there. You're just whisked right in. You're on a list, so you don't have to go through a lot of steps. You get your wristband, which of course includes tabs to vote with. So you snap your tabs off and you vote the People's Choice Award. We like to say you vote your palate. And you do that throughout the evening as you go through Washburn Hall and then upstairs in the Great Hall. You're wooed with all these types of food. We're talking about 20 of the best chefs in the region, not just Worcester alone. We've toyed with the idea of renaming the event because we've got restaurants from Framingham and Natick and all the way out to South County.
Sure.
Brookfield and Sturbridge and so forth. Bill, of course, used to run the Cedar Street restaurant in Sturbridge, which is just a favorite. It's an icon out there. Goes back in everybody's memory now. And then, throughout the night, you have a great time. Beer, food, wine, rum and revolution. You take in a champagne sabering, which is done with a 4-foot sword.
Yeah, so what is this champagne sabering?
Jeremy Bell is just a great guy from Scotland. Man in a kilt. He comes in with his Scottish regalia and his bagpipes, and he invites people to actually learn how to do a champagne sabering, which is basically chopping the cork out of a bottle of champagne without damaging the glass itself. And he does it, and he actually shows people how to do it and brings somebody up on stage to do it.
Wow.
So if you're lucky, you'll be picked to do that too.
Yeah.
And then
That's fun.
Toward the end of the night, we announced the People's Choice winners, which is a great award to get for any chef and restaurant. And then we do, of course, a judge's choice, and like we say, the top 3 in the judge's choice battle it out on stage.
Yeah.
And then the winner is Worcester's Best Chef.
And obviously a lot of bragging rights that go along with this. 20 chefs. It must be an honor just to be picked. How do you decide who comes to the event?
We handpick them. A lot of chefs are called ahead of time based on their reputation in the community, based on buzz and their stature in the culinary world. You have to be a chef that brings your A game, and you got to let people know that you're going to bring your A game. So you're going to see chefs that really come to compete. A funny story that I can think of is a couple of years ago at Union Station when we had Yamazakura in Northborough, very fine sushi restaurant, and Chef Anna, of course, whom you know,
Right.
canceled her wedding to participate in the event.
Really?
And I was a little bit under
The
pressure.
groom must have been thrilled.
Yeah, he was not happy. But she postponed her wedding. Well, I don't want to say cancel. She did get married, but she postponed her wedding, and she actually won. And that was a big weight off of my shoulders because I felt pretty bad.
That was
she didn't.
worth it then. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Now, what does it mean? And last year you were the Judges winner, Wilson, and the People's Choice winner.
Right.
What does it mean? I mean, how does it translate to business and the bragging rights and just the excitement of having done that?
So I think that's really good for the first of all, for the business, it's really worth it. It's you put this show on that public show, and you got a people's choice. That's what I mean. It means like people just love your food. They are trying to find the chance to go to your restaurant, try your food. And the judge choice basically, so they see this dish or think about this dish from the professional way to see that. So sometimes you think about it, it's a public choice, like they like this. And that means the judge choice from the professional way to seeing the same thing.
That's right.
It's just like see the glasses. We see the glasses from this way, this is wrong. And then when you see the top one, just like a circle. So that's the way, but the same thing is the glasses.
It's true. The judge's choice comes from acclaimed judges who are part of the federal American Federation of while I have a mind block, the Culinary Institute of America, American Culinary Federation, Les Amis Escoffier, pretty decorated culinarians.
And they're your peers.
And they're
Yeah.
peers, of course. And then, of course, there's the people's choice. And to see some of the people's choices mirror the judges' choices, and it happens from time to time, is amazing. It just shows that people are real foodies. We call them foodies. People who have a tremendous interest in food, and maybe they're not chefs, but they have a very kind of highbrow approach to food. And they're discriminating.
Bill, what's the pressure? Because now you've done it competing where it's been your own restaurant.
Yeah.
Now, as a chef for Series Bistro, what is are you getting a feeling for what's the pressure like? Are they already coming down into the kitchen saying, "Hey, what's there going to be? What's going to be representing Series Bistro?" Is it a different kind of pressure?
Well, we're all very competitive anyway, just by nature of being a chef. Nothing really changes in that aspect. Obviously, I feel a little more pressure, to win now. I mean, there's a lot more people that are looking at it and say, well, they put up the funds for me to do this, as opposed to me putting up the funds myself to do this. So, I guess they have expectations, but there's a lot of great chefs that come here.
There are a lot of great chefs.
And one thing, after the 5 years, I've done it the first year, all the way for 5 years now, the food keeps getting better and better and better. So it ggets tougher and tougher.
And again, guys, just to be, you guys have really competed at such a high level over the 5 years, but just to be part of the 20, but it is amazing to me that you're able to come back each year as well and be able to compete.
Walking out of Union Station the first year, the maiden year, Bill was behind me, and I remember distinctly he said this. He said, "Next year I'm going to win." I heard him telling somebody else, and I said, "Wow, that guy's really coming to play." And guess what? Next year, he did take something next year.
I did take something. Yeah.
Tremendous.
That's fantastic.
It's a lot of fun, is what it boils down to.
Right, and there has to be the fun and the social aspect, and you get to that has to be part of it too. We have 30 seconds, Dominic. We have the best part, right? We just show up and get some great food.
You do. You have a ball. You have a great time. Just go to worcestersbestchef.com and get tickets. They are 40 online, and they're 50 at the door, so it definitely behooves your foodies out there to buy it in advance. And we're trying to also raise some proceeds to the Worcester Technical High School Culinary Arts Program. Up to now, we've raised about $20,000. So we're trying to raise more this year if we can, God willing.
That's fantastic. Hey, thank you all so much for coming by, telling us about it, and we'll see everybody there at Worcester's Best Chef Competition. Coming up, we're going to